Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of Internet Friends, the episode where at least one politician we like actually got elected.
We'll take it.
Finally, we got one. Ghostbusters buzzer.
Yeah, took us almost a decade, but goddamn did we try.
Yeah. Oh man. To think a decade ago, I was like, Bernie, he's a socialist. We can do this. And it took 10 years for us to actually get a socialist in politics.
Yeah, no, it's amazing to think that 10 years ago, the idea of Trump being president was a joke collectively.
And now they're duct taping signs outside the Oval Office that in gold lettering say, the Oval Office. And
Oh, God.
Have neither of you seen that?
No.
It's sad. Because at a distance, they used like a fancy font and it's like gold. So you're like, oh, whatever. And then the camera zooms in on whatever news channel. And it's just 3 pieces of paper.
Yeah.
One that says the other Oval Office. And they're just taped up outside the door.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about like the ballroom that they're putting in and like the tearing up of the Rose Garden and everything else that's going along with it. And it's just kind of
But if I want to destroy the White House, that makes me a felon. Oh, wait, Trump already is. Right, I forgot about
that. Anyways, while we're on the topic, donate to your local food bank and everything else and support those who are probably going to be dealing with a lot of issues with food insecurity. Just to throw that out there, you know.
Yep.
And money also. Donate money because a lot of them don't need actual supplies. Please do not. And I will say, actually, sidebar to all of that, please do that with every organization. Same thing with like animal shelters and things like that. Don't just drop things off. As somebody who worked at a shelter, it's very annoying, and the food banks are probably dealing with that a lot. Please call. Please check what they need first. So.
I was literally just at a grocery store, and they had like a cart that they had out for just like, hey, put your stuff here, and we'll send this to like food. Like the entire thing's overflowing. It's just like they don't really need all of that.
Yes.
Yeah, well, and they know what they need for their area, what is high request items, and
a giant cart full of corn is not necessarily helping feed people.
I used to
just throwing that out there.
As part of the youth group, we used to have to like take in food donations, not give them, but work at the closet that was full of food that we were supposed to give out to homeless people, but we never did because we're a church and we're better than that.
Yeah, God forbid.
And I swear, dude, it's all corn, pumpkin pie filling. It's all just the shit that people are pulling out from the back of their pantry. And it's like, I've been to a food drive. I've stood on the bloodlines, bread lines. I know, like, you go in there, like, there's not often a lot of stuff that you want. And like,
want or nutritionally need. Like, honestly, like the thing that like specifically is just like, dude, like, I know they're not really all that great, but like the Campbell soup, like it's just like at least that like is a little bit more nutritionally well-rounded, and you're getting a little bit of everything in them versus just like, again, like I said, just like green beans and corn. Like great,
yay, peas, awesome.
Depressing, but very necessary. And I will say also, monthly donations are very helpful. You could do a $10 a month, $5 a month, super helpful. And also, a lot of them have wish lists, especially like they need diapers and baby formula and things like that. So check your local food bank. There's probably a lot of resources there. So don't start.
Absolutely. Yep. All right, now that we've gotten off of our soapboxes, we go into our homework assignment, which was assigned by Bree this week, and we watched Avatar the Last Airbender. So this is a show that dates back into literally our childhoods, which is kind of insane to really think about. I remember watching this on Nickelodeon as it was airing, actually. So I think I had the most familiarity out of the group. However, Bree, this is your assignment, so I'm going to go ahead and have you take it away.
Yeah, this is one of those, like, I feel like I've seen so many people use this as a reference of like good storytelling, like good character arts and like that. And it's just like, this kind of flew by me. Like I definitely saw it as I was growing up, but I don't think I ever watched it, like consistently. So it's been on my list for literally ever, but I knew it was kind of a bigger show. So I was just like, I never found time for it. And I really did not know what to do this round. So this is what I chose.
It had a very big comeback over the pandemic. Like I think they dropped like it on Netflix or some kind of streaming. And so there was a very big streaming community around it for a good part, like when we were all locked inside.
Yes, definitely. And I this is one of those shows that I feel like a lot of people like have a yearly rewatch or things like that. Like just people love the show. So I've always wanted to watch it. Never got the chance to. And Aaron, you said you did watch it when it was actually airing, like the full thing or just parts of it?
Yeah, I the one that I remember more vividly was at least the first season, but I definitely have seen like the full thing through like and back in childhood. And then I think my last like rewatch as an adult was maybe like 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay. And Seth, have you watched this before?
No, it had completely missed me by as well. It got to a point where it was like so many people talk about how great it is, like you said, that I was like, well, there's no way it's actually that good, and that reinforced me not watching it.
Yes, well, I'm so glad you said that because I definitely have some opinions on this, and hopefully don't get me crucified. But
well, it's Bree's last show, everybody. Hope it was a good run.
Hey.
Listen, I tried. So,
hey, I might be falling on that sword with you. I gotta be real.
That's great.
This would be interesting.
So, okay, you know what? I'll probably just dive into it then. So I did not get past the first season. And there's a couple of reasons why. I think this animation is so fucking ugly. And I know this was very of the time, but it is the most butt ugly animation ever. And especially, I feel like the far away shots, like everything just looks so grainy and like stretched out and weird. I'm just like, it was so hard for me to like enjoy looking at it because they were, I feel like, and maybe I'm speaking about this incorrectly, but I feel like there was an era in this era where there was like more American animation studios that were trying to like do the anime style. And I don't know this is American studio, but I'm just saying I feel like this was kind of the trend in every bit of animation where they were trying to emulate the anime style but not being anime, if that makes sense.
This is something that I massively noticed because it is so anime influenced, and I'm not a huge anime guy. I do watch some of it, like Yu-Gi-Oh and whatever. It was kind of like Uncanny Valley. I don't hate the animation as much as you seem to, but it was very Uncanny Valley for me watching something that is so Eastern influenced, but very Western at the same time, that I was like, and you're right, the far away shots, if you look at character faces when they're talking or whatever, they're always off model when they're like further back.
Yeah, this was coming out in a interesting. So Nickelodeon's the network that it was on, and I can't speak to most of the team. I know Dave Filoni was a director on it, so who we all know from Clone Wars. Very major influence, and you can see a lot of his influences, especially if you watch the episodes and you see his name as episode directed by Dave Filoni. It's just like, yep, no, that felt like a Dave Filoni.
There's one episode in the first season where they're coming down in the air balloon, and they're like, why isn't the Fire Nation attacking us? And they're like, because we're wearing the Fire Nation's colors. And I'm like, oh, this is a war crime. And then End pops up, directed by Dave Filoni. And I was like, well, yep, there we go. There we go.
Yeah, it's a good bit. So the interesting thing about the animation, I think, kind of going to like your point about like the anime influence, it does very much feel like, because when you actually look at anime and like Japanese specific style animation, they talk about their American influences. So it feels like there's like multiple layers of filtering, and like you just got like this weird copy paste.
Yes.
But you also kind of see the influence of what Nickelodeon was doing at the time, because this was also coming out like next to SpongeBob and other like kind of animations of those ilk, and like it wasn't quite like sprite animation, but there are like, it's weird, there's specific like things where it's just like the animation looks really really good, and then there's times like you guys say where it's just like it has that like South Parkian like cutout against backdrop sort of kind of things, and like it has that quality that if you listen to anybody who works in animation, they talk about how like, you know, it's just like, you know, you spend all of the time and budget on like these very specific scenes, and then you have to fill out the time with like really like crappy animation as kind of filler. And this show does suffer from that, because it's just like, you know, it suffers from the thing that eventually developed into like the Marvel formula of just like, cool, we just had this huge like really big moment, high emotion, everything, gotta insert a joke somewhere.
Yes.
One of my first notes is this show gives me tonal whiplash. Because there would be this real emotional moment, and then, oh, we're a kid's show, and we're, our main demo is 7-year-olds.
Yes. The pacing is atrocious.
And I think that is something to kind of remember. This show was made for kids. This was not adult animation for the most part. And this was in an era where, like, very much like kids animation was kids animation. It was very rare for them to also be appealing to adults.
Well, that was when I first noticed, because I'm just like, because we've watched quite a few shows on this, shows and movies that were like technically intended for children, but like we still got a lot out of them. Yeah. And this was the first kids show where I was like, I am too old to be watching this. Like, this is for children. Which I think is part of the reason I couldn't get through it. And I kind of wonder if a lot of the love for this show is the nostalgia of it. I'm not saying it's a bad show by any means, but I don't know if you can jump into this as a me now 35-year-old and have the same appreciation. I don't think it's possible.
I do think it's a time and place aspect of it. Like, just like, where were you when you remember watching it? And then like go back and watch it. And so, like, I think I definitely have a little bit more fondness for it, and maybe don't. Again, nostalgia is rose-tinted glasses. So, like, the things that you guys are pointing out with the animation and stuff, like, they don't bother me as much. And I also think, and when the animation is good in the show, it is great. But when it looks, but like to your guys' point, when it's bad, it's pretty atrocious.
Yes, definitely. Another thing that I really think, and I this may be a controversial take, I don't know if it's the directing or if it's the voice acting, but like it's kind of bad or just like very stiff from a lot of the actors, especially background actors. I think Katara's voice actress is kind of like, I feel like I can tell they're reading the lines in a booth. I think that's kind of what bothered me.
Well, what I noticed about the voice acting is that, at least among the main cast, a lot of them are children. A lot of them are in their early teens. But Katara, she was voiced by the gal who played Anne on Arrested Development and the evil ex-girlfriend in Scott Pilgrim. So she, to my knowledge anyway, had the most acting experience. So it's interesting to hear that you think she was very wooden.
Yeah, I think most of them were. And again, it maybe is just like a directorial thing or just like the lines or something, but it's like, and honestly, this might even speak to the pacing and like the jokes, like input. Like, I don't know if it was just like, because I feel like I have so many issues with the show, to be honest with you, but I'm just like, I was like, I don't know if the episodes needed to be longer or substantially shorter, but because I don't know, and maybe it is a voice isn't a voice acting issue. Maybe it is just that, like, I feel like things are happening so quickly and then it just resolves very quickly that like some of the lines don't land as like impactfully as they should, because I'm like, oh, the issue just happened, but now it's done. Okay, cool. So that could be a multi-layered problem. Hard to say.
Well, that was something I noticed as well, as somebody who has watched anime, is that like there were arcs in this that were one episode, or there's a two-parter where Aang goes to the spirit realm and the demonic panda is attacking the town. Just that is contained in one episode, and then the part 2 is him going and seeking out the previous avatar's spirit and all that. Just the one episode would have been a 6-episode arc in a regular anime.
And it should have been.
Yeah,
or at least a 3-part episode.
I feel like we're breaking Aaron's heart by like about how much
it's interesting, but I think it's interesting because it's one of those things where it's just like, as somebody who again grew up with it and all of that stuff, it's again like I'm kind of just trying to check my nostalgia at the door when it kind of comes to it. But I also kind of think it's just you kind of also have to remember how different this time was, and because like going to like the voice acting, like I could see how basically this feels wooden to how like even some of these voice actors now, because they still, a lot of the people who work in the show have done a lot of stuff since then and have demonstrated a lot more range and how a lot of the techniques in voice acting have gotten really better. But you go back to kind of this, and there's like a very stacked cast with Dante Bosco being attached to it as Zuko, Mark Hamill being Fire Lord Orzai, and like a lot of other people who are veterans of
doing a kind of uncomfortable Asian accent, mind you.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah. Again, this goes back to like take off the rose-colored.
It was 2005.
It was different time.
Well, it is something where it's like it wasn't okay then, it's not okay now, but it is one of those things where it's just
but it was
like,
accepted more back then.
It was accepted more back then, and it was one of those things where it's just like, that at the time it's just like, there wasn't as many working actors as there was, because like the same like 3 jobs went to the same 3 people.
That's true. That's true. I did recognize one of the actors, and I was like, oh, that's the guy who played the Asian guy in every movie in the 90s, because they were like, well, we know him, so let's just go get him.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to mention Robin, because somebody, Scott Benville is in this. He's
Robin.
And I'm just like, immediately I was like, that's Robin, and he's using Robin's voice.
Same. He's the firebender who makes the dragon, and then he's also the crazy guy with the bombs.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, our big back, we need a big back for the show. What's Mark Hamill doing?
Yeah, we need a name. I will say there were things I did really like about the show. When it was more mature, and like the flashback episode where we get Aang and Zuko's backstories, probably my favorite episode. That was really good. And also that old man, the old fisherman, realist fucking character. Aang shows up the Avatar after 100 years, this horrible war, and everyone he meets is like, oh, you're the airbender, and this one fisherman's like, where the fuck you been, Loka? Like, this is your fault.
And it is his fault.
It is. And then at the end, his wife's like, you should probably apologize to the kid, and he's like, how about I give him just free food and we call it even. Real. But also that episode, because I hated Aang for the first little bit, and he was my Greg.
I thought you guys were gonna have a hard time with Aang.
Yeah, he was my Greg, where I'm watching it and I'm like, just stop fucking everything up. Grow up. By the end of episode 3, you've seen that your entire race, whatever, was wiped out by the Fire Nation. Realize your responsibility now. Realize the stakes here. And then we get the flashback episode, and I'm like, oh, yeah, he's scared. He's been running, and that's why they're hopping around and not just going to the fucking North Pole, which is one of my notes. Just go to the fucking North Pole.
Yes. I was like, honestly, I'm like, where I stopped in the show, I was like, oh, they haven't even fucking gotten to the like water bending person yet. I was just like, if I had like one like, I think this show could be so much better if it was like actually structured more like an anime, like a 12 episode season for 3 seasons would have been dope, or even 10 episodes. 20 is too fucking long for nothing to fucking happen. So it's a lot of episodes.
You will notice season 2 and 3 are actually shorter seasons.
I noticed that when I pulled it up on Netflix.
And they do cut down quite a bit on the jokes as they go along. They're still there. But there's just less comedic relief.
And when the show would be more serious, I found myself kind of hoping that it would be that, where this is a show that ages with its audience and becomes less for 7-year-olds as those 7-year-olds become 10, 11, 12-year-olds. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad to hear that. I also like how I started out the last section by saying there are things I like about it, and then immediately ranting about something I didn't.
I mean, that's our brand on this show.
True. But yeah, I did find that when the series was more mature, that I liked it. When it handled issues like misogyny and things like that, I liked it. And then it would go back to being a kid show for a little bit. And then I'm just like, okay. So, Brie, did you see the last 2 episodes of the season?
No. I made it to episode 15, I think. So,
okay.
Yeah, I think 15 is where I stopped.
Yeah.
It's the last 2 episodes are great. They're legitimately very good.
Yeah, I would say that the last 2 to 3 episodes is where they start kind of setting the tone for how season 2 is going to go, because season 2 is definitely darker in general than the previous season, because you see a lot more about the Earth Kingdom and specifically how it operates, and how there's kind of a darker side to the other nations than just like, because like the Fire Nation obviously is the bad guy, but let's kind of like explore like what other things are wrong in this world.
Well, and there is that hint when the like general from the Fire Nation is like, oh, when I was training under such and such in the Earth Nation, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Why would Earth and Fire be like working together at all?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, that gets into that, and it pays off a little bit in the second season. And like the kind of thing about it, and the thing I specific, and so like this ties really specifically in with Zuko's character, and like because like his entire thing, I need to regain my honor. It's just like, what honor? Have you seen how the Fire Nation operates?
Yeah,
like literally, there's the guy who's just like, I'm going to kill the spirit of the moon, and it's just like, why? What is your motivation for this? It's like, because I want to.
Because it's my destiny to. Yeah, and it's also your destiny to be pulled down into the water and drowned by a giant hand. But that's actually Zuko's story is actually one that I really liked. I really liked that, like, and in the flashback episode, Aang, it gets, frozen in water because he's running and he's scared. Zuko's whole thing was that he didn't want to hurt his own people. He didn't want them to just be sacrificed. And then he has to fight his dad. And he's like, well, I don't want to hurt my dad. And then he gets horribly scarred by his father and banished.
Yeah.
But that I was like, oh, this is actually compelling, how you wouldn't expect that dynamic from the hero and villain of the series. You'd expect the villain just to have this evil whatever, and the hero to, there's some accident that he got frozen. No. And I like that. I liked that a lot. Have I mentioned how much I like that one specific episode? It was really good.
It is. Well, honestly, I feel very similar to what you said earlier. I'm just like, I wasn't really enjoying the show until episode 7. And then I was, because I was like, there was a shift where it was just a little darker, a little more in depth. And I was like, okay, I'm enjoying this. Like I could see a little bit more, because actually it's funny you mentioned being annoyed by Aang. I really wasn't annoyed by him. I was annoyed by Sokka for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like consistent comedic relief, or half the jokes I was like, is that a joke? Like, is that even a joke that kids would enjoy? Like, what's the bit? But like, so I really didn't enjoy it till 7, and then I was enjoying it for a while, and then I stopped again because I was just like, it was feeling agonizing to get through this show, because I'm just like, one of the episodes that bummed me out the most was which actually I wanted to bring up because I am confused what the morals are on it. It was the episode where they have to cross this like big ravine, and there's like the really clean people and there's the really dirty people, and they don't like each other. And it's just like, I forgot what the two groups are called. But like what he does to resolve it is lie to both of them. And I was like, what's the lesson here? That like, because I was like, it's
the lesson is, Bree, is that propaganda works.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, one group is upset about false imprisonment for decades, which they should be, and the other group is upset that a ritual that was very important to them was disturbed. So I'm just like, okay, well, these are actually legitimate concerns that, like, yeah, maybe they could talk through, but the resolution was to just lie to everybody. I was like, what do you mean? What am I supposed to learn from this?
That's actually something I remember a lot from early 2000s cartoons, is that sometimes the moral was, it's okay to lie.
Yeah. I'm like, in this instance, it's not, though. I'm just like, these were two, like, false imprisonment for 20 years is not just a silly thing to be like, shucks, I guess we'll forgive them about. And again, disrupting a ritual that's really sacred to their people. And those are pretty serious crimes. Like, yeah, maybe you don't hate them forever, but I was like, what am I to learn from this? So, but I guess like lying's okay, even if it's a huge lie.
See, my interpretation is that people are dumb and like they'll believe anything you tell them. Again, propaganda works, people.
Yeah,
I guess.
Oh, the chosen one told us this. It must be true.
I guess so. Sounds legitimate.
I don't know, Bree, if you made it this far, because I can't remember what episode this was on. I watched the entire first season over the 3 weeks in between record, because I kept being like, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to do it. But I have a note here that just says snake tat whip lady and no other context.
I don't think I did get that far, but I am upset.
No. So obviously, like, if we're talking about like all 3 seasons, and obviously I'm the only one who kind of has a little bit more intimate knowledge about it, there is, again, going back to like, it does get a little bit more darker and serious. There's also kind of this shift that you kind of see in some of the characters. Not, I wouldn't call it a shift, but you more and more you start seeing the serious characters start to lighten up, and the more like jokey characters start to like take things more seriously over time, while still maintaining some of those other aspects that they have. Like,
well, I think you even see that with Zuko in the first season, where he is so drawn to get the Avatar. And then there are times when he's like, no, it's better for my crew. It's better for people if I just let him go right now. And and you get the kind of sense that he doesn't actually want to destroy the Water Kingdom or the Earth Kingdom. He just wants to catch the Avatar so he can go home again. That was kind of end of thought.
well, this will determine whether or not they burn down this show. What did you guys think of Uncle Iroh?
Okay. He's kind of a pervert with Snake Tat Whip Lady. He pretends to get paralyzed.
So are you.
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't pretend to be paralyzed so that I can snuggle up with a woman. That's weird.
You've never done that before?
No.
Hang on.
Once or twice.
I was about to say, let me check my DMs real quick because I feel like you've told me. So you've told me.
Let me text a couple of your exes real fast.
Hey, Aaron, just real quick.
What's the most lecherous thing Seth ever did while you were together?
Do you still have the snake tattoos and whip that paralyze people?
She does have a snake tattoo.
All the gays do. I have a snake tattoo.
It's like here's your hair dye, here's your snake tattoo.
Yeah, it's part of the starter pack for sure.
Okay. Since we're on the subject, this brought this to mind. When her and I were living together, we lived on the second floor, so we had to walk upstairs, and she would always walk ahead of me. And I got in the habit of like pretending I was about to bite her butt, and then at the last minute looking away and like looking around to see if anybody saw me. It was a stupid joke for me. We had lived together for a year and a half, and she turns around and catches me doing it. And she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "So it's a stupid little bit that I do. It's a joke just for me." And she goes, "How long have you been doing this?" And I went, "The entire time we've been living together."
Oh my God.
And she's just like, "Okay."
and now that she knows the bit, it lost all of its fun.
Yeah, it did. No, I still did it.
It's for you after all. So.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really funny.
Thank you.
It's
funny. I'll be like, sorry. I'll like go hang out at her place, and she last time I hung out with her, she moved recently, but she was still in a walk up, and so she was walking up ahead of me, and I remembered that, and I was like, "Nope, don't do it, don't." Instinct started to kick in, and I was like, "No."
Oh my goodness. LOL.
This part will not be clipped and put up on TikTok, by the way.
Oh, perfect.
Says you.
I've already clipped it. It's too late. So.
I've sent the evidence away already.
It's like clips go up tomorrow.
Really quick. I have like no opinion of Uncle Iroh, to be honest with you. I'm like, I feel like he makes sense just as kind of like a small foil to his nephew, I suppose. Like just because Zuko is so serious, he needs somebody to kind of like soften that, and I feel like he does along the way. But that's kind of all I feel about that.
He is a character that gets much more dimensions in like the last two seasons, and I think that's kind of one of the frustrating thing is that like the first season is very flawed, but there's the elements of what make the show really good, and you don't really get a lot of those elements until later.
Right.
And so again, because it's a show that was for kids, and if you didn't watch it when it was coming out, like I could see, like again, it's a harder sell to an adult person.
It's good 21 episodes in. Just hold out for 21 episodes in.
But like that.
This is the show that saying came from. I gotcha.
Yeah. But it's also one of those things where it's just like, you know, difference in like viewing habits, right? Like, again, like this show was not designed to be like a 20 episode binge watch. This was a Saturday morning cartoon or Sunday morning cartoon of like you woke up, you know, there was the entire lineup kind of coming. This was between SpongeBob and like whatever else, and like
more SpongeBob.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, if you were a kid like me, you were basically switching between Fox and WB when this was coming out. Like, I think I only watched Nickelodeon when I was at my mom's because she actually had, like, satellite TV.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, my dad just had basic cable. But yeah, different viewing experience, different formats, which we talked about like last time, where it's just kind of like, yeah, like that changes the way that you kind of think of a show. Like, I mean, my whiplash constantly was like, you know, they do the like build up everything, cut to black. It's like, oh, that's where the commercial was supposed to be. Anyways, let's go 5 seconds back now.
Yes.
It's just like, it's just like, oh yeah, no, you were supposed to be watching stuff about Capri Suns and Gushers and selling stuff to you as children, which technically should be illegal.
Yeah.
But because it's advertisements for kids, it's fine.
Just ask for your parents' credit card. It's okay, kids.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Buy that Fortnite skin.
Remember when they would try to tell you to go send in postcards to win giveaways?
Yeah.
Oh, whoa,
that was a time.
Yeah, like it was a much.
Did you ever do it?
I tried.
Oh, you did?
I think I filled them out, and then like it was just like, asked my mom like, oh, we gotta go mail these. She's like, okay, I'll go mail these for you. And I was like, I'm pretty sure she never did. It's like, how else am I gonna win the Game Boy Advance with the Mega Man game on it?
Yeah, come on, it's all silver, or blue, whatever Mega Man is.
I will say. I was just gonna say, no, listen, I'm
rock, paper, scissors,
go.
This
is mine. I literally, it's a one quick comment I'm gonna make really quick. It's just like, I think the fight choreography is really cool. I will give the show all the flowers for that, because at the very beginning, that shit's cool as fuck. The bending is really cool. Like seeing them, like that is the part that always kept me entertained when nothing else was keeping me entertained. I was like, the choreography fucking slaps. Like I get why people get hyped about it. So I will give it all the credit for that. It's very fun to watch.
Yeah, I remember they used to broadcast like kind of like behind the scenes thing, and they talked about how like they based like the different bending styles off of real world martial arts, and like everything was like done specifically. It's like, you know, water bending is like that Tai Chi sort of like flowy kind of style. Earth bending has like a more like wrestlers like style of like, you know, stomping and very like strong movements. Fire bending's very aggressive and quick, all that kind of stuff. And so it's interesting of like elements that they kind of put into it. Kind of shifting gears a little bit. Interesting thing about the show is that it's had 2 live action adaptations done of it.
It has. I always forget about the Netflix one.
Yeah, both have been critically relatively panned for very different reasons. The first one being, you know, the M. Night Shyamalan movie, with if you talk to any fan of this series, they will tell you does not exist, and with good reason. And then the most recent one, which was, again, it's just like, again, trying to kind of recapture nostalgia. And like, I'm on the record for being anti live action remake everything.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there seems to be like this weird thing that we have in like media where it's just like, it's not considered legitimate until we have a live action version of it. And like, I'm more or less of the opinion, it's just like, stop taking like animated series and franchises and trying to make a live action allegory for it, because like, did we need this?
Stop reselling me the same product. I already bought it. Thank you so much.
Well, also stop reselling me the same product when you fundamentally don't understand the product.
Yes.
Because I feel like that was a big issue, especially with the M. Night Shyamalan version. Because like, I haven't actually seen the movie, but if you look at some of the clips and stuff from the M. Night Shyamalan movie, you would basically be like, what the fuck were you doing?
Yeah. Speaking to that, and also going back a little bit, another thing about the show is that before I had watched it, my opinion, I was like, okay, one person controls water, one person controls earth, air, whatever. How do you make that compelling? How do you use these powers? And then watching it, pleasantly surprised that like, oh, this is fucking rad. This is actually really cool. But I do not see how existing in a live action format, you could make it as compelling as it is animated.
Yes.
Yeah, no, there's nothing inherently that there's nothing that a live action version of this could have improved upon it. And so, like, again, like, it goes back to the asking of a question of like, who was this for? Because at least like with the original animated series, like, okay, it was for kids in the mid 2000s.
Yeah,
like that's who the market was. I was amongst the people this show was marketed at, so it was pretty effective, and it's had a lot of staying power. I also would like to say thanks for keeping it to 3 seasons and not, you know,
that was another surprise to me. because I knew it was a bit of an undertaking and that so many people loved it, I thought this was like 5, 6, 7 seasons. To find out it was just 3, I was like, this is actually much shorter than I thought.
It had a very big production cycle because I think it was like a couple of years between seasons.
Oh, wow.
To release, if I remember correctly. I don't know when Filoni got pulled off because I think he got poached by Clone Wars, like, I think before the 3rd season.
Okay. I think, didn't the Clone Wars movie come out in 2009? So that would have been
It was 08.
It was 08? So he would have probably been pulled for production and stuff around late 06, early 07?
Yeah, so he would, I think he got pulled either midway season 2 or like on season 3. I don't think he was on season 3 if I remember correctly. But don't quote me on that. But yeah, like, so like this again, there's like so many things about the show that, again, if you try applying our modern sensibilities, doesn't necessarily have a 1-for-1.
Well, and going back to something you said is that, like, you do have to remember the time period this was coming out. That was something that I found that I kind of respected about the show, is that even though it was made for children, there would be stuff introduced in the first couple episodes that wouldn't be brought back until like the end of the season. And so they respected their audience, even though they were children's intelligence enough, stupid kids, by the way, even though to be able to do callbacks and do references back to things for a show that if you weren't watching it week to week, you could have missed out on that. In reruns, they're running it in random orders. They still respected the audience to be like, no. You've watched this, and this thing that happened in the last episode or 2 episodes ago is still relevant.
Yeah.
And that was another thing that I liked about it.
Yeah, and you have to remember, like, that was actually a rare thing for shows of the time, too, because there was a lot of stuff where it's just, like, you know, very loose connective tissue when it comes to, like, you know, kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, that's part of the reason Arrested Development got canceled around this same time, was because, like, no, you have to watch it in order and you have to pay attention to it in a time before DVRs were really regular, in a time before binging, in a time like... And how do we put this into syndication? That's where we make all of our money, is syndication.
Right. No, it's like one of those things where, like, but I think, you know, going back to kind of like the water cooler aspect, like, you had to watch it. Like, I'm sure I want to say early middle school by the time this was coming out. But, like, I guarantee this definitely had, like, you know, kids on the playground, you know.
Sitting around the water cooler.
Yeah, well, like
in their suits and ties,
plenty about their wives.
Yeah, but no, like kids on the playground, like reenacting, like, you know, the scenes that they saw on the show and everything.
Oh, for sure.
Well, even though I didn't watch it and didn't go to school, I was homeschooled. I remember that. I remember like being at youth group and seeing people over doing the moves and being like, "Nah, I'm a firebender."
Now kids are just playing Roblox and getting, you know.
Getting groomed.
So I don't know what kids are doing. I don't want to know.
Basically, yeah.
Actually, they're into K-pop Demon Hunters and me too. So I'm literally wearing them right now. So I get it.
The amount of people on my Instagram feed was just like with their kids. It's just like, oh, well, here's my daughter with her roomie cosplay. It's just like the amount of time it took to getting her hair in a purple ponytail. I swear to fucking God.
Oh, sure. So sure.
Buy a wig.
Yes. Much easier.
You realize how difficult it is to style a wig?
No, because I've never bought one. I have thought about, as a balding man, there are times when I'm like, oh, you know what would look really good with this outfit? This specific hairstyle. And like, you know, whatever. So I've thought, why can't I wear wigs as an accessory? Like, I embrace being a balding man. I post a lot of TikToks without wearing hats. Would it be acceptable for me to like toss on a blue wig or a purple wig to go with whatever outfit I'm wearing for that day? And I don't think it would be. I think society has pretty much dictated that men wearing wigs is a net negative.
I think you could. I think that's fine.
Yeah,
why not? I'm all for it.
I'm gonna be all right. Where's my Amazon app? I gotta press order on my cart real quick.
It's like, hang on, Bezos needs another like 20% margin on this product real quick.
Hey, he needs to hit that trillion before Musk does, which evidently is happening soon, except it's totally not if you look into the details of it.
Oh, Lord.
I would prefer them to both hit 0 before, but,
same.
Beggars and choosers.
Right. We do not support billionaires here on this show, by the way.
Eat the rich, please. Thank you so much. Fuck them. I'll be honest, I have like almost nothing else to say about this show. Like I just like I really feel like I just expected to love it. And maybe I just came in with too high of an expectation because like everyone loves this show so much. So like me watching it, I was just like, okay, yes. Well, surely it's gonna get better at some point. But like again, I stopped where I stopped because I'm just like, I wasn't ever super interested to keep going with it. I was truly watching it for this podcast, and that was it. Well, I like there were moments where I was enjoying it, and again those like darker moments, and I'm sure I understand that. Well, actually, I really know what happens in the whole show because there's been so much like dissertation about it. But like I feel like it's pretty hard sell to be like, yeah, just get past these first 21 episodes and then it gets really fucking good. I'm like, I don't have that time or that capacity. I was like, I might casually do that at some point, but like, I don't know, there's just so much good TV out there. And I'm just like, I think this ship has sailed for me and I think I'm just going to let it sail and appreciate like, I don't want to characterize this as a bad show. It's not a bad show. I just think that ship sailed for me personally. I love that people love this show so much. I just think it maybe just wasn't for me. So at least not at this stage of my life.
Do you think that there was like a fandom FOMO aspect of it? Like there's so much because this, existed in like that Tumblr era fandom where it's just like there's a lot of fanfic out there for it. There's I remember Tumblr back in the day had a lot of gifs of a lot of different moments in the animation back in the day. Again, season 2 and 3 introduced a lot of other characters that like kind of add newer dynamics to the show. Do you think that the fact that you were exposed to so many people talking about it gave you some kind of obligation of like giving that a shot that it
100%. I think that's the like this kind of completely could have like flew under the radar for me, but I think because like and especially I feel like there's so many channels I watch that like have like storytelling analysis. They reference this show almost every single time, so clearly there's something here. It's just, you know what I would love? And I'm sure maybe this exists in some capacity. If there's like a machete method or like some sort of like abridged version of this show where it just tells me, yeah, exactly. Just like gives me the important episodes and not the silly, stupid episodes.
This is again another Dave Filoni influence thing. Because just like with Clone Wars, there's a like kind of like here are the arcs in Clone Wars you need to watch, not necessarily watching straight through. Like it's like watch this arc, then watch this arc, then watch this arc, skip this arc, skip this arc.
Yes.
Like so I think that's another Filoni influence because like Filoni is a good storyteller and he does come from like that George Lucas like heavily influenced by westerns and Kurosawa style storytelling. And like there's good elements there and like talking about kind of like the moral like it's okay to lie to people, like there are some of the basic things like imperialism is bad, just for the most part, and all that other kinds of stuff. It's like don't support
for the
fascism.
Most part.
It's amazing how millennials were being exposed to this kind of like media and then wondering why we hate the government all of a sudden.
Yeah. Right.
But no, like I think that again, like I'm very much of a mindset is just because I like a piece of media does not mean that like everybody else has to like it. We've talked about that numerous times on the show. There's been pieces of media which is just like I really liked it. I probably never would have chosen to watch it on my own. And then there's also been stuff that we've watched where I've just like, yeah, this was not aimed at me. One of the shows that you were contemplating actually last time we talked was Steven Universe. I've seen Steven Universe as well, and I did not like that show. But Brie, you might have liked that show better than I did.
Yeah.
And that's another one that I've heard is really great. Every queer person in my life keeps screaming at me that it's great.
And being the straightest person here, I was just like, yeah, this show was not made for me. I am not the target demo here. And that's fine.
Yeah, I do worry about that show because I'm like, we'll probably have to watch it at some point just because like I feel like I'm glad you mentioned Tumblr because I feel like there's just like, and we mentioned this when we watch like Has Been, where it's just like I feel like there's just like sometimes the fan base just ruins everything, and I'm just like honestly that.
Oh, and Steven Universe is in that category. Is like the fandom has done some unhinged shit.
And that fan base is terrible. So I'm just like, okay, is that a mark of wait, this show is actually not that good, and people are just way online way too fucking much, or is it actually a good show? Who's to say? So maybe one day I'll find out.
I genuinely find that sometimes when fandoms are terrible, it's like, oh, it's probably a good show or a good piece of media or something. It's just like I just don't want to be associated with this.
Yes, I'm not wearing the merch out in the world. I don't want people to think poorly of me.
I mean, I thought that of Rick and Morty, like right from the start. It's just like, this is a really great show. I do not want to be associated with a single person wearing a Wubba Dubba Dub shirt.
Obviously, I'm like, I do not want to talk to that person.
No.
Especially when the Pickle Rick stuff was going on. Yeah, when the Pickle Rick stuff started, I was just like, okay. Yeah.
That the fandom killed Rick and Morty for me because I watched it from the start.
Oh yeah,
and then when the Pickle Rick stuff was happening, it was like, oh, I don't want to be associated with this. And then like the next season started, and I was like, I'll catch it on streaming.
And then the Justin Roiland stuff came out and everything else, and it's just like you just had that like, all right, well that shit has sailed.
Yeah.
Who's the guy who created that and with Justin Roiland and Community?
Dan Harmon.
He created Dan Harmon. Yeah, I when that stuff came out, I was like, boy, Dan Harmon surrounds himself with a lot of piece of shit people. Maybe I don't want to support Dan Harmon anymore either.
Good call. It's probably a good call.
He does have a habit of that, and he has also been called out on shit before in the past, so...
I was not aware of that, but it does not surprise me.
I can't remember the exact stuff, but like when he was taken off Community toward the last couple of seasons, like there was some harassment claims that came out. I forget what exonerated for him to come back for the last season, but
I hesitate to talk about this simply because I know all three of us probably have a burning hate for this show. Have you heard the recent allegations against David Harbour from Millie Bobby Brown? That he was bullying her during like season 4 of Stranger Things.
No,
just like
I didn't hear about that.
We don't know the extent, but she complained so much about his bullying that Netflix did an internal investigation before the filming of season 5, and all of this is just coming out now.
Wow.
So we don't know anything that's happened yet, but yeah.
Sucks. Hate that. It's like so easy to not be a piece of shit. I'm just throwing that out there. I think I've actually never sexually assaulted anybody, and I've found it very easy to not do that as it works.
Very easy.
So fucking easy.
Very easy.
Oh God. But sorry, were you about to ask me if I've seen Stranger Things, because I haven't. So.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
Oh, so our next homework assignment is I'm just kidding. I want to do that. I
was going to say, did you watch the first 5 minutes that they released? They are desperate for this next season because it's the last one, and there has been so much controversy, not just the David Harbour stuff, but like one of the actors being exceedingly pro-Israel and like making bumper stickers that says like Zionism is sexy and like handing out and stuff. Yeah. So there's like a huge push to protest this season. Also, he's the worst character on the show. I don't know. Aaron, have you watched it?
The show or
just Stranger Things in general?
Yeah, I've seen bits and pieces. I've never sat down and actually like watched through the whole show.
Okay. His character in the first season is in the first episode, then gets kidnapped and sucked into the other world, the like upside down.
Oh, okay.
Disappears for the entire season. You get to watch all of the other characters interact with each other, and then there's 3 more seasons of just this other guy being there. And they did not know how to write his character. They did not know anything to do with his character. And he's the one that's out there being like, I'm pro-Zionist and you should be too. And we're like, you should have been written off that show in the first season, dude.
Yeah.
Well, what a wild take.
Well, I remember hearing somewhere like originally the idea for the show was supposed to be like Twilight Zone-esque, where like every season was supposed to be like its own like
that would have been better.
Anthology, and like so like different cast, different story, but like maybe like loosely connected, but instead like because of the success of the first season, they were just like, oh well, we got to keep this group and this cast together, and then it's just like, well, okay, you hired children to be your core cast, and the production schedule for the show requires years, and by the time that we are ready to do the next season, cool, that 8-year-old is now a 12-year-old, and now that 12-year-old is a 17, 18-year-old, and they've had enough time in the public eye to do stupid teenage shit.
Yeah. Well, the thing, like Millie Bobby Brown, the star of it, she was, I think, 11 or 12 when the show first started.
Yeah.
This season that hasn't premiered yet, she is now fully an adult, married, and they adopted a child. She is a mother still playing a like 14-year-old kid.
Yep.
It's I have to be convinced every time a new season of Stranger Things comes out to watch it. I'm never like, oh, I'm going to put this on. I like this season. I like the series. Every single time people are like, well, you got to watch it. And I'm like, I don't remember what happened. It's not a gripping show.
I was about to say, do you get the FOMO aspect of it, like I just talked about, where it's just like suddenly everybody on the internet's talking about it, and
it's my goddaughter. She's super into it, but her and I don't talk anymore because I've gotten no contact with that whole side of my family. So I'm not going to get bullied this time.
Well, that's the thing that gets so irritating though now, because even if I want to be interested in something, by the time like I'm even introduced to it, like, you know, it's already been spoiled and like people are already talking about it, right? Like the new Welcome to Deary show around it, like literally, like I know everything that's happened in that first episode literally before I even knew the show was a thing.
Yes.
Because instantly, like I just saw like everybody's talking, it's already been spoiled and everything else like that. I'm just like, okay, guys, you need to understand, like, specifically, and we've talked about spoiler culture before here. There's a time, like, Seth, you sent something about the new Has-Been Hotel thing, and I instantly was like, dude, I've been scrolling away from everything Has-Been because I know eventually I'm going to watch it. Well, I know eventually I'm going to watch it. I just haven't sat down to watch it yet because I'm not that much of a fan.
Yeah, I haven't watched it either.
Oh, it's an interesting season, to be honest. They're going in an interesting direction. So, but, you know, same thing. I don't want to tell people I like it. So.
Sir Pentious is hot. That's the only
our first episode is a whole episode of us talking about us liking it, so there's kind of a problem there, Brie.
Ah, shit. Erase it.
Quick, somebody put Brie in a Sharpie. Put Brie in a Sharpie bath. Let's go.
Oh my god.
Brie, how do you feel about blackface?
Do I look like a cosplayer? No, thank you. So,
you used to be.
So I don't do it anymore.
I got a video on TikTok recently that was a stand-up comedian, and the video opened with him saying, like, something about Googling Ted Danson blackface and how everybody in the audience should do it at some point in their life. It's Ted Danson. He's an actor. He's been acting for a very long time. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be, I look it up. It is old school, like blackface, like big white lips, whole thing. And it's for a charity event. And this is like the late 90s.
Yikes.
But it's also one of the funniest pictures I've ever seen. Because of how racist it is, and how at this point in history he absolutely knew better. Like he absolutely knew he shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, going back to what we were kind of saying about like the voice acting for Avatar being, you know, white people playing people who are supposed to be like, you know, Asian Pacific, you know, esque, you know, characters. It's just like, okay, yeah, that wasn't right, but you know, different time. It's just like that is like, it's like, no, you should have known better.
Yeah, you should have known.
Oh man, I have super sidebar to that, but kind of related. And maybe this isn't the case, but very early in the first season of Avatar, the show that apparently we're talking about, but who's to say? There's a character early on that is an Earthbender, and they call him Haru, and I'm just like, I feel like if they're going for like the Japanese name, it would be hard. Like the inflection is wrong. Haru is kind of how like a American person would pronounce it. And it was like Haru probably is like it's the inflection is different. I was like, I feel like I don't know, and maybe the voice acting or whatever. I'm just like, I feel like that's not how that name is pronounced, but maybe they're like, the kids aren't gonna know. It's fine. So
the kids are. There is that with a lot of the names though, where it's like, oh, these are very Asian influenced names, but they're being said with such a big Western accent.
Yes, and I'm like, okay, well, they're probably like, it's for kids. It's fine. Just send
Western
it.
inflection. I mean, not accent.
Yes, correct. Well, it's a show, and we watched it. Part of it.
Yes, some of it. But would you go back?
Oh, well, I will probably.
I'm very mixed on it, to be honest.
Will you try to at least get through the second season? See if
you know what? I'm gonna say I will commit to that because I'm like I am so close to finishing season 1 that I'm just like what I've been doing is like watching it like as I'm waiting for my edible to kick in. So once my edible kicks in, I'm like, all right, see you later. I can't pay attention to this anymore. So I'm like, I think I could probably do that and maybe get through part of season 2. I think I may like shelf it at some point if it's still not keeping my interest. Cause I was like, again, my goal today was to finish season 1 because I was so close, but I was like, I just don't care to. Like, I'm just like, I feel like, again, they still haven't fucking made it to the pole yet. They haven't made it to get to the fucking waterbender yet. I was like, when are you gonna do that? We have 2 more people to meet.
And you haven't even gotten because like season 2 introduces a lot of mainstay characters that like it's just like you don't ever interact with in season 1. So there's a lot of content still on the table. Is the kind of the thing.
Right.
Well, when they mention Zuko's sister, I was like, oh, I know that from people I've talked to that she's a like real big character as the series goes on.
Oh yeah. Yep. Also haven't been introduced to Toph or Mai or any of the other kind of characters.
No. Because I finished season 1 and the last 2 episodes are so good, that made me go, okay, I think I might continue with this beyond just season 1. I definitely didn't hate this. There are parts of it that I hated.
Yeah.
So, and now knowing that it does get a little bit more mature, the humor isn't such a huge part of it moving forward, that it does encourage me to potentially, maybe, someday.
Yeah, you have to remember also going back to like when we talk about different shows having different format, there is that thing of just like the first season slog of just like the first season is literally just like this is an idea of a thing that we have and it's not completely fleshed out. They probably didn't even know that they were going to have 2 more seasons after this season.
No.
That's so tough though, because I feel like there's a lot of shows like that. They're like, oh well, yeah, sorry, season 1 really sucks, but once you get to season 2, and I'm like, okay, well, what do I do in that situation? Like, do I have to just sit through a really shitty like season of television to get to the good stuff? Is there a bridge version? Like, I never know, because like I feel like the example that I hear a lot is like Parks and Rec, which hilariously the only season I have seen was season 1. And I'm just like, well, I was dating a girl at the time and we stayed up all night and watched the whole thing. And again, I wasn't really interested in the show. So as you can imagine,
it's like we stayed up all night watching the whole thing. Well, it was on in the background while we were doing other stuff.
I was actually gonna say that about Stranger Things. That's the only time I've seen Stranger Things. Like, and I've only seen the first 2 episodes, and I have not seen them because I was actively hooking up with somebody. So I'm just like, yeah, she's pretty good, I think.
This hasn't happened to me, but just the conversation begs the question: have you ever been in that moment and then realized, oh, what we're watching is actually really good? And you find yourself like being torn between like.
Did you say that's what happened with Over the Garden Wall for you last time?
Kinda, actually. Now that you mention it, yeah.
Yeah. Here's a new show question. What is your Netflix and chill show? The thing that if you invite somebody over to go watch something, you're just gonna end up having sex anyways.
Can I say that was like the live action Cowboy Bebop for me, because let me tell you, that show was so bad. Like, I was on top of him before like the first episode. I was like, we're not watching this, and I'm not interested enough to like tear myself away.
God, that live action remake made me so angry watching.
Oh,
I hated it so much. It did everything I hated.
It was
I know
totally
someone
wrong.
who was like, the best I ever heard was from somebody I know, and they were like, I mean, it's okay, and that was the best they could say about it.
That's like, nice.
There's a specific person who I know who is like consistently like, whatever their opinion is, if they like something, I know it's bad, and if they say that they don't like something, it's just like, I need to check that out. He straight up said it's just like, the live action Cowboy Bebop's really good. Like, they changed a lot of things, but it's a really good watch. And I was just like, well,
heard you loud and clear.
I was like, just should have listened to him, and by listen to him, like, if I'm like, don't watch it.
Yeah,
but I did, and I was disappointed.
Quick kind of ping pong, slightly changing the subject, but live action Cowboy Bebop brought me to live action Death Note. And this raised the question of, is there a show that you have only seen through TikTok, but you became interested enough that you watched a bunch of the show in those 5-minute chopped up things? Because that's Death Note for me. I watched a bunch of Death Note over Subway Surfers like a couple of years ago.
I can't. It's one of those things, like, it's one of those, I don't know if it's not necessarily that I was interested in it, but it was what the algorithm was saying, like, hey, we're just going to keep giving you clips of the show. I kept getting Landman recently.
I'm familiar with that.
It's from the Yellowstone guys, but it's Billy Bob Thornton working in the oil fields.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I keep getting that clip, so it's just like, I feel like I've seen the entire show now, literally through TikToks against my will. And like I said, most recently, it's Welcome to Derry, where it's just like, I'm basically just like getting the entire show literally. Dude, they're playing full episode stuff now on TikTok.
I've noticed. Yeah,
like somebody put a whole entire Dragon Ball Z movie on there. There was somebody who put an episode of Code Lyoko with commercials, so like they just had a recording of it from back in the day.
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Code Lyoko. Yes, I have it. That is a name I have not heard in long. I was there when it was written.
Yeah. Do not cite the ancient magic to me, witch. I was there.
Amazing.
But yeah, like, no, so like, yeah, they're uploading now like full on TV and movies now to TikTok, which I'm just like, for the love of God, can we just have short form content be short form content?
Yeah,
please.
I had this like recent theory of just kind of like, the short form to long form problematic pipeline that kind of happens, where it's just like, we had Vine, where it's just like, hi, you have 6 seconds to get your joke in and out. Like, that's not enough time to like be incredibly offensive, although there are people who figured out a way to do it.
There are,
but
there's always a way.
But like, as you extend like that time limit, you get people who are just like, okay, well, now I need to use a whole minute. I need to like throw out hot takes, and now I have 3 minutes, so now I can really flesh out those hot takes and give like reasoning behind it. And it just keeps snowballing, and I'm just like, it's at the point where it's just like, social media is completely unwatchable now. Even people who I agree with, for the most part, I'm just like, I'm not gonna sit in on your lecture, dude. I'm just not dealing with it.
I heard this hot take recently, which I really loved, that like because AI is getting so prevalent, that like they hope that like we're all gonna start not using social media, period, because everything is so either this long format, or it's just like, it's so generated that like we'll just lose interest in it entirely and just stop using social media. And I'm like,
it's working.
That's a beautiful take, and I love that. I'm honestly, I'm starting to feel that way, because I'm just like, I just feel like there's nothing I'm enjoying that much anymore about any social media, for that exact reason you're mentioning, and also how generated it all is. Or it's just people, because they have a longer time limit, just fucking like, I know I said this before, but I'm just like, unfortunately, like the longer format it is, people are so convinced that they are good storytellers when they are fucking not. Yes. So just because you heard one good story on TikTok, like I'm like, 5 minutes and this was the bit, this was the finale of your fucking story. Don't tell stories, my guy. It's unbearable.
I don't know if like Twitch blew up or something, but like there was like a million different pieces of Twitch drama happening all at once, and it was just people talking about the Twitch drama, but not giving any context to anything that they were talking about on any of the videos. Where it's just like, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know what happened here. I don't know anything about this, and yet you're talking to like social media on an algorithmic based platform where it's basically randomized, expecting me to know what any of this is.
Yeah,
like.
No, and
like what the hell? Like it's just like I don't like I barely know who QT Cinderella is. What makes you think I know anything about these other two people? And no, I wasn't watching the fucking stream because I don't watch fucking Twitch.
Right.
Yes.
Not 2020. Who's watching Twitch?
Well, and there's an extension of that too. There's a guy who comes up on my For You page every once in a while who does like movie news and like things about movies. And he'll start the video by being like, Ghostbusters saved this one actor's career. So in 1979, a script started floating around Hollywood, and then he'll give the entire history of the making of Ghostbusters before getting to the fucking point.
Yes,
and
that's
I'm like,
not why I'm here.
I don't care. Yeah. I also hate the trend of uploading a clip from something and having the like gotcha moment at the beginning and then starting the actual clip leading up to what just happened.
Yes. Oh my God. There's just so much discourse about nothing, right? I think I feel like that's kind of what we're circling around. Just like, every time I open up, it's like, well, you got like somebody just made a kind of a parody of it's Bowmanizer actually, but he was just like, everyone's been asking me to talk about the drama between blah, blah, blah. I was like, there is so much discourse about the discourse from random people. I was like, I think we all need to realize that we're not the main characters and just shut our fucking mouths. Like, you maybe don't have anything to say, by the way. Like, please convince yourself of that.
It's the typical social media cycle. It's also how algorithms of these platforms, like they, again, like however the algorithms is set up to like how things get served, people make content according to that. So that's why as content allow longer content, people have to fill for time. They have to catch attention, so they have to be more edgy, or they have to like feed into drama cycles and other kinds of things like that. And just it's annoying. And like I keep thinking about how like specifically platforms like TikTok and YouTube specifically of like how their algorithms like are just like, God, the content on these things used to be so much better. Just when they were made as they were intended to be made versus like however they've set up their algorithms to push people to make content in a certain direction.
Yeah.
And it sucks because like there's a lot of creators I really liked that like, it's just like, look, I want to keep making the content that I was making before or similar to, but the algorithm dictates that like I have to make content like this.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and also like TikTok specifically, you don't make a cent on videos. We've said this 1,000 times. You don't make a cent on a video that's not over a minute long.
So you're incentivized to make those minute-long videos.
Yep. And there is one creator that I found who is doing it in a very fun way. They do short format animated skits. They're the person who invented the ibuprofen meme, if anyone is familiar with that. I referenced it a week ago or last episode. No one seemed to understand what I was saying. But he'll do the short format video. The video ends, and then he goes, all right, now watch me play Tony Hawk for a minute. And it's just video footage of him playing a video game.
Perfect. I love that.
No commentary, just gameplay.
Yeah, it's kind of the worst. I've actually had this, I've been testing this fun theory of just like, because and I say this all the time, but I'm like, I have such a really just a hate relationship with Instagram now, but like, it is how I keep up with like some family members and like, it's how I keep up with some students and how I also like, it is helpful for my job. So it's just like, I can't not use it, but like, I've gotten to the point where I will close the app the second an ad pops up or I get a suggested follow. And let me tell you, my time on Instagram has gone down drastically because it is so hard to see people I am actually following and to not get advertised to multiple times in a row where I'm just like, okay, this is genuinely unusable at this point. I can't even interact with the people I want to.
Well, and that was one of the worst things Instagram ever did, was making it to where you see people you don't follow on your main timeline. because I've missed posts by people. And then that incentivizes the story usage because you want your friends to see the thing and be like, hey, look at what I just posted.
Yeah.
Like
it's like, well, if I was just seeing it naturally scrolling, I would have already engaged with this thing you posted 2 days ago.
Like, it was very simple when it was just like, here's your main feed. It's just people you follow. Yeah, we'll throw in the occasional ad every now and again. Totally fine. Here's Discover. You can search here, but like also we're just going to give you algorithmic random stuff. It's mostly going to be porn, but here's your algorithm. And then like
my reels have been wild the past couple days, by the way. I don't know if it's like something going on with Instagram, but wild.
I don't get any porn, my friends. Weird.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out whose AI slop is worse, Instagram's or TikTok's, and it's close.
Oh, it's real close.
I don't know if this has to do with algorithms and the way mine have been trained. I get way more AI stuff on Instagram than I do on TikTok.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. I would say that, again, going back to like, I'm seeing a lot more of the drama stuff on TikTok, which again, that doesn't surprise me. But the Instagram, I'm definitely getting way more like egregious AI slop.
Yeah. Quick funny thing about Instagram and how they're not showing you your friends' posts. Friend of the show, Meg, did a lovely National Dog Day post about her dog. I didn't see that post. I only saw what she put on her story, which was a bunch of pictures of her dog and best first dog ever. And I'm like, oh my God, did her dog die? Oh no. So I had to go to her account and see, oh no, it's just a National Dog Day post. Oh,
I had the exact same thing happen to me because I haven't seen her on my feed in fucking forever. And then I saw that one post and I was like, oh my God, did they pass away? And then I was like, oh no, okay, just celebrating in general. Holy shit.
And I remembered that her dog had health problems like a little while ago. And I was like, oh no.
She posted recently in stories that her dog, I think, has cancer or something. And so like, but like, it's just like, it's manageable. And she's just like, all right, you're getting spoiled until it's your time to go. And I messaged her and just be like, all the spoils.
Yes, poor baby.
Spoil that thing rotten. But but no, so, like, it's weird how like, because like I've even popped in to like Facebook to see, is it still just a wasteland over here? Yep, but it's where everybody still is from high school and like all my family and everything else like that. It's just, it's hard to get away from. I
used to just keep Facebook for Messenger, and then I deleted Messenger off my phone. So about once a month, I pop in on the actual computer, internet, Facebook, and it's just slop, ads, and a bunch of messages from my mom because she sends me stuff and memes that she's found. And is this AI? And I'm like,
yes.
Mom, just text it to me. But
if you're asking, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
I do the same thing though. I just like I have literally one old laptop that I stole from my old job. That is the only place where I am still logged on to Facebook. So I'll check it every now and again. Because what sucks is that like, and I don't know if this is the same for you two as well. This may be a regional thing, but I was just talking to my sister about this, about how difficult it is to outside of Facebook Marketplace to sell something locally. Because Facebook Marketplace is really the only way that is viable. Because like Nextdoor, I don't know if you've ever been on that app. What a nightmare Nextdoor is. It is all the most racist people in your neighborhood are posting on Nextdoor, and that was supposed to be like the replacement for Facebook Marketplace. But I'm like, yeah, nobody uses Craigslist anymore. Like, and what else can you do to sell something locally? Like, it's impossible. And even events, I have apparently missed so many parties and events with people because
still do Facebook invites.
Exactly. And I'm like, where else can you do that? There's not really an app to do that. So it's just like, God, I need to
go back to Backpage.
Yep.
Backpage. What is that?
Oh, I really hope that was going to hit with Aaron.
I don't know what that is.
It was like, I don't know if it's still active. I've only been on a couple times. Back in like 2013, 2014.
So this time frame, remember, this is Google Hangouts era, Bree. Let's just keep in mind what we were all up to at that time.
And the only reason I know about it is because I had friends in the industry at the time. But Backpage was Craigslist, except you could buy hookers, escorts. Sorry.
Oh. So don't Google it.
You could hire a sex worker.
Yeah. You could look up, massage parlors that offered happy endings. You could all of that. It was Craigslist, but sex. And I only know about it because I had a friend who was in the industry, and she was like, "Hey, check this out."
Sure. A likely story.
And then that night he got it, and we all went on chat roulette together.
Yeah. And then what was the name of that other site? I just had it. Never mind.
Statute of limitations.
Manifesting. Oh, yes. Rub maps. Thank you.
God,
it was rub maps.
Thank God you remembered.
Yeah.
Bree,
this is why we don't schedule anything after 7 o'clock.
That's exactly why we do. You know that's why we do.
This is exactly why we do. We've talked about it at length.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, before we get Seth on a sex offender registry, what's our homework assignment for next week?
I was thinking this during the week, or the weeks in between records, because every time it's my turn to do homework,
you'd look at your Blu-ray shelf and just pick a random one.
Throughout the in-between, I'll think of a bunch of stuff and be like, oh, that would be a good homework assignment, and then don't write it down. And we get to 10 minutes before record, and I'm like, oh shit, it's my turn. Fuck. So we're doing Muppet Treasure Island, because I want to watch that.
Fun!
I'm in.
Good. I'm glad. That's the response.
That's my third favorite Muppet movie.
It's so good. And I watch it every year around this time. So.
Oh, I'm thrilled. I might be able to find this on a streaming service and not have to buy it, maybe. We'll see.
Okay.
I specifically try to look for things that are on streaming services.
We'll revisit this maybe in the episode, but which one of us is the human and which the other two is replaced by Muppets?
Oh, I want to be a Muppet.
And also, which Muppet is replacing you?
Gonzo.
Yeah, no, we already did.
Sorry, I ruined the next episode.
We already knew the answer to that question.
Oh, that's tough. I think I'd want to be a Muppet too. Can we just all be Muppets?
Can we all just be Muppets? All right, well, you have until the next episode to get your Muppet made, and we're only going to...
We're doing it.
I just really want
that would make me so happy. That would make me so... I've been wanting to make a puppet for so long, and this would finally give me a reason.
I was about to say, we have no budget, so you were in charge of making your own Muppet and learning how to do.
That's fine. Oh, you think with my experience working at the church and being in youth groups that I don't already know how to be a Muppet?
Oh, trust me, I'm just gonna... Luckily, I have a very crafty wife who's gonna do most of the work for me.
I did audio work at a puppet convention that was held at my church.
That's
okay?
Okay.
I thought that would get a bigger laugh.
Bag.
Yeah, a sock with...
Yeah, exactly.
She's just going to take some purple Sharpie to be her hair.
Exactly. Yeah. You won't be able to tell the difference. It'll be perfect.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to this homework assignment. Anyways, I am TCK Media Productions on most platforms. You can see that Seth23 on the Tiki Atakis, assuming it's not AI slop by the time you get there.
Oh, never. I would never.
He loves spoiling everything that's currently on Hulu right now. That's his favorite pastime. And then
video after video of ending explained. That's what I'm shifting into.
Exactly. And then you have the raccoon loon herself, Brie, with an adorable kitten.
It's Dio.
Aww.
That's our show, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.